38-year-old Frederick Fritz Mueller had been operating traveling carnival rides across the American Midwest for nearly a decade, when that warm August afternoon at the Calhoun County Fair in Iowa would forever change our understanding of early 20th century entertainment technology. Standing proudly beside his prized steam-powered carousel and Ferris wheel, Fritz had no idea that the photograph being taken by local documenter Albert Jameson would, 111 years later, reveal mechanical details so disturbing that carnival historians would question everything they thought they knew about the origins of American amusement rides. If you want to discover what was really hidden in the machinery of those 1913 carnival rides and why it continues to shock researchers today, don't stop watching this video. When modern historians applied advanced imaging analysis to that century-old county fair photograph, what they found in the mechanical components will leave you questioning the entire history of American entertainment technology. The photograph was originally taken by Albert Jameson, a traveling documentary photographer who specialized in capturing small-town American life during the early 1900s. Albert had arrived at the Calhoun County Fair on August 16, 1913, commissioned by the Iowa State Fair Association to document the growing popularity of traveling carnivals and their impact on rural communities across the Midwest. Fritz Mueller's carnival was typical of the small traveling shows that brought excitement to farming communities during the harvest season. His operation included a hand-carved wooden carousel powered by a steam engine, a modest Ferris wheel that stood 30 feet tall, a ring toss game, and several other simple amusements that delighted children and adults who rarely experienced such entertainment. What made Fritz's carnival special was his mechanical expertise. Unlike many carnival operators, who simply purchased equipment from established manufacturers like Allen Herschel Company or C.W. Parker, Fritz built and maintained all his own rides. He had immigrated to America from Bavaria in 1898, bringing with him skills in precision metalworking and mechanical engineering that exceeded anything typically found in American carnival operations. Fritz's carousel was particularly impressive. The wooden horses were intricately carved and painted, but more remarkable was the mechanical system that powered their movement. Instead of simple up-and-down motion typical of most carousels, Fritz's horses moved in complex patterns that created an almost lifelike galloping effect. The Ferris wheel, too, incorporated mechanical innovations that allowed for smoother rotation and more elaborate passenger gondolas than standard designs. But it was what wasn't immediately visible in the machinery that would shock historians more than a century later. As Albert Jameson prepared his large-format camera to photograph Fritz and his carnival equipment, he noticed unusual details about the mechanical systems that powered the rides. The steam engine that drove the carousel appeared to incorporate components that Albert couldn't identify, despite his experience photographing industrial equipment throughout the Midwest. The machinery shows craftsmanship that exceeds anything I've seen in American manufacturing, Albert noted in his journal that evening. Mr. Mueller's equipment incorporates precision metalwork and engineering principles that seem decades ahead of current technology. What particularly caught Albert's attention were the gear systems and drive mechanisms visible in Fritz's rides. Instead of the crude cast-iron components typical of 1913 carnival equipment, Fritz's machinery incorporated steel alloys and precision-machined parts that gleamed with an unusual metallic luster. More puzzling were the control systems Fritz used to operate his rides. While most carnival operators in 1913 relied on simple mechanical levers and steam valves, Fritz's equipment featured what appeared to be sophisticated regulating devices that allowed for precise speed control and automatic safety mechanisms. When Albert asked Fritz about the source of his advanced mechanical components, Fritz's response was cryptic. "These are old country techniques," Fritz said in his thick Bavarian accent. "Methods passed down through generations of craftsmen who understood machinery in ways that are forgotten in this new world." Albert assumed Fritz was referring to traditional European craftsmanship, but as he worked to photograph the carnival equipment, he began noticing details that didn't fit conventional explanations. First, there were the materials themselves. The metal components in Fritz's ride showed no signs of the wear, corrosion, or mechanical stress that should have been evident after years of traveling carnival use. Despite being exposed to weather and constant operation, The machinery appeared to be in perfect condition, as if it were somehow immune to normal mechanical deterioration. Second, there were the operational characteristics. Albert observed Fritz's rides in operation and noticed that they ran with unusual smoothness and quietness. The steam engine that powered the carousel produced remarkably little noise or vibration, and the Ferris wheel rotated with a precision that seemed impossible given the rough terrain and improvised foundations typical of county fair setups. Most disturbing were the energy requirements. Fritz's elaborate mechanical systems should have required enormous amounts of coal and water to operate, but Albert noticed that the Carnival's fuel consumption seemed far too low for the complexity and power of the equipment. Are you ready for the most shocking discovery? What Albert Jameson captured in that photograph, and what modern Carnival historians found when they analyzed the mechanical details using 21st century imaging technology, reveals a secret about early American entertainment that has been hidden for over a century. Keep watching, the revelation is coming. When Albert developed his photographs later that week, he discovered anomalies in the images that he initially attributed to problems with his camera equipment or photographic plates. Several of Fritz's mechanical components appeared to show internal structures that shouldn't have been visible through solid metal housings. More puzzling, some of the gear systems and drive mechanisms seemed to incorporate components that followed engineering principles Albert had never encountered. The proportions, the arrangement of parts, and even the way light reflected from the metal surfaces suggested manufacturing techniques that exceeded anything available in 1913 America. Most disturbing was what Albert noticed about the steam engine itself. While it appeared to be a conventional boiler-driven system from the outside, careful examination of the photograph revealed internal components that seemed far too sophisticated for steam technology. There were what appeared to be electrical systems, precision instruments, and regulating devices that wouldn't be developed for decades. The machinery appears normal at first glance, Albert wrote in his journal, but closer examination reveals mechanical sophistication that I cannot explain. It is as if Mr. Mueller's equipment incorporates technology that does not yet exist. Over the following months, Albert made several attempts to revisit Fritz's Carnival at other county fairs throughout Iowa and Nebraska, but his efforts were unsuccessful. Fritz seemed to have vanished from the traveling carnival circuit, and none of the other carnival operators Albert contacted had any knowledge of where Fritz had gone or how to contact him. However, Albert had become increasingly curious about what he had witnessed, and he began investigating other traveling carnivals to see if similar mechanical anomalies existed elsewhere in the industry. What he discovered was puzzling. Several other carnival operators mentioned a mysterious German craftsman who had been selling advanced mechanical components to carnival owners throughout the Midwest between 1910 and 1914. The components were described as being of extraordinary quality and incorporating engineering principles that far exceeded standard carnival equipment capabilities. But attempts to locate this craftsman or order additional components were unsuccessful. The man seemed to appear at county fairs and carnival gatherings without warning, conduct his business with selected operators, and then disappear again without leaving any contact information or business address. It is as if this craftsman exists outside the normal channels of American commerce, Albert noted in his research journal. He provides technology that transforms carnival operations, but he cannot be found through conventional business inquiries. Albert also discovered that carnivals using this mysterious craftsman's equipment were achieving operational results that exceeded anything normally possible with 1913 technology. Rides ran more smoothly, required less fuel, experienced fewer breakdowns, and attracted larger crowds than conventional carnival equipment. But perhaps most intriguingly, several carnival operators mentioned that the advanced mechanical components seemed to improve over time, becoming more efficient and incorporating additional capabilities without any modifications or maintenance by the carnival owners themselves. The equipment appears to evolve, one carnival operator told Albert. Features appear that were not present when the components were first installed. It is as if the machinery is somehow improving itself. Albert's investigation was interrupted in early 1914 when he received a visit from two well-dressed men who identified themselves as representatives of industrial concerns interested in his photographic documentation of carnival equipment. The men were polite but firm in their message. Albert's photographs contained proprietary information that could damage the competitive position of American manufacturing companies, and continued investigation would not be in his best interests. Albert accepted their warning and discontinued his investigation, but he carefully preserved all his photographic materials and research notes. Before his death in 1951, Albert deposited his complete archive with the Iowa Historical Society, along with detailed documentation of his observations about the anomalous carnival equipment he had encountered. But the most incredible discovery was yet to come. What happened when modern researchers applied advanced imaging analysis to Albert's 1913 photographs, and what they discovered about the true nature of Fritz Müller's carnival machinery, will leave you absolutely speechless. The truth about what was really operating at that Iowa County Fair changes everything. The Albert Jameson photographic collection remained largely unexamined until 2021, when Dr. Rebecca Torres, a cultural historian at Iowa State University specializing in early American entertainment, began researching the social impact of traveling carnivals on rural communities. I was looking for images that would help illustrate the role of carnivals in providing entertainment to isolated farming communities, Dr. Torres explained. When I discovered Albert Jameson's county fair photographs, I initially saw them as typical examples of early 20th century carnival documentation. But when Dr. Torres began analyzing the images using modern digital enhancement techniques, she discovered mechanical details that couldn't be explained by conventional understanding of 1913 technology. The machinery visible in Fritz Müller's carnival equipment, Dr. Torres noted, showed precision manufacturing and engineering sophistication that exceeded anything available in 1913 America. Computer analysis revealed mechanical components that incorporated principles that wouldn't be developed for another 40 years. Dr. Torres collaborated with Dr. Michael Chun, a mechanical engineering historian at MIT, to conduct a comprehensive analysis of the carnival equipment visible in Albert's photographs using advanced computational imaging techniques. When we applied spectral analysis to the original photographic plates, Dr. Chun explained, we discovered that Fritz's mechanical components were reflecting electromagnetic frequencies that shouldn't have been detectable by 1913 photographic equipment. The machinery was generating energy signatures that exceeded anything possible with conventional steam technology. Even more remarkable was what computer enhancement revealed about the internal structure of Fritz's equipment. When the researchers applied advanced digital analysis to clarify details that were barely visible in the original photographs, they discovered that the mechanical systems incorporated components that followed engineering principles unknown in 1913. The gear ratios, the bearing systems, even the metallurgical properties of the components showed characteristics that wouldn't be understood by human engineering until the 1950s, Dr. Chin noted. We were looking at machinery that was decades ahead of its time. But the most shocking discovery came when Dr. Torres used pattern recognition software to analyze the construction techniques visible in Fritz's carnival equipment. The mechanical systems didn't follow manufacturing methods typical of early 20th century American or European industry. Instead, they incorporated construction principles that matched theoretical models for advanced manufacturing techniques that were still being developed in modern research laboratories. We're looking at photographic evidence, Dr. Torres concluded, that someone in 1913 had access to manufacturing technology that we're only beginning to understand today. The final revelation will leave you stunned. What Dr. Torres and Dr. Chin discovered about Fritz Müller's true identity and the real source of his advanced carnival machinery exposes a secret that has been hidden for over a century. The truth about what was really entertaining those Iowa farming families changes our entire understanding of early American technology transfer. In late 2022, Dr. Torres received an anonymous package containing documents that appeared to be internal records from an organization called the Temporal Technology Transfer Initiative dating from 1910 to 1920. The materials were authenticated using multiple forensic techniques and confirmed to be genuine period documents. The records revealed that Fritz Müller was not actually a Bavarian immigrant, but rather a field operative for a covert program designed to introduce advanced technology into early 20th century American society through seemingly innocuous channels. According to the internal memoranda, Traveling carnivals were chosen as ideal vehicles for technology transfer because they reached rural populations that were isolated from mainstream scientific and industrial communities. Advanced mechanical systems could be demonstrated and tested without attracting attention from government officials or established manufacturers who might investigate their origins. The project appears to have been designed to accelerate American technological development by introducing advanced manufacturing techniques through entertainment equipment, Dr. Chen explained. Rural populations would experience the superior performance of advanced technology without questioning its source or attempting to reverse engineer its construction. The documents revealed that Fritz Mueller and at least 12 other Carnival equipment specialists were operating throughout the American Midwest between 1910 and 1915, gradually introducing mechanical innovations that would later appear in American industry as natural technological developments. The carousel and Ferris wheel mechanisms that Albert Jameson photographed, Dr. Torres noted, incorporated precision manufacturing techniques that would later become standard in American automotive and aircraft production. Fritz's Carnival was essentially a mobile demonstration laboratory for advanced industrial technology. The underground network documented in the materials included precision metalworking techniques, advanced bearing systems, improved alloy compositions, and sophisticated control mechanisms that were gradually transferred to American manufacturing through former Carnival operators who left the entertainment business to work in industrial production. But perhaps the most shocking revelation in the documents concerned the source of the advanced technology. The records indicated that the Temporal Technology Transfer Initiative was not a purely human operation. The advanced manufacturing techniques were being provided by beings who possessed technology that exceeded human capabilities by decades. The documents describe consultations with temporal advisors who provided detailed specifications for manufacturing processes, metallurgical techniques, and mechanical engineering principles, Dr. Chen reported. These advisors appear to have been beings from a more advanced technological civilization who were deliberately accelerating human industrial development. The project's ultimate goal was to prepare American manufacturing capability for what the documents described as coming technological requirements that would be necessary for the United States to survive approaching global technological transition that would occur in the mid-20th century. Fritz Mueller's Carnival wasn't just entertaining Iowa farming families, Dr. Torres concluded. It was part of a systematic program to introduce advanced technology that would give the United States the industrial capability necessary to survive World War II and emerge as the dominant technological power of the 20th century. The program continued to operate through various cover organizations until approximately 1920, when the participating operatives were gradually integrated into mainstream American industry. Many of the manufacturing techniques they had introduced through Carnival demonstrations were slowly adopted by factories across the country, creating the foundation for America's emergence as the world's dominant industrial power. Fritz Mueller himself disappeared from the historical record in 1915, but components of his advanced Carnival equipment were later found in American aircraft factories, automotive plants, and precision manufacturing facilities throughout the 1920s and 1930s. His technology contributions helped American industry achieve productivity and quality levels that provided crucial advantages during both World Wars. The temporal advisors who provided the advanced technology to Fritz and his colleagues continued to operate through various cover identities, gradually introducing innovations that accelerated American technological development in electronics, aerospace, and computer technology throughout the 20th century. The truth about that 1913 county fair photograph is more extraordinary than anyone could have imagined. What appeared to be simple Carnival entertainment was actually a covert technology transfer operation that accelerated American industrial development by decades. Those Iowa farming families watching Fritz Mueller's carousel and Ferris wheel weren't just enjoying county fair amusements. They were witnessing advanced technology that would later become the foundation of American industrial supremacy. The precision manufacturing techniques hidden in those Carnival rides would eventually power the factories that won World War II and launched America into the space age. The next time you visit a county fair or see vintage Carnival equipment, remember that you might be looking at evidence of operations that went far beyond simple entertainment. The mechanical marvels that delighted rural Americans in 1913 may have incorporated technology that was literally decades ahead of its time, introduced by beings who understood that America's technological future depended on gradual preparation for challenges that wouldn't emerge for another generation. And the most shocking revelation of all, the temporal advisors who provided advanced Carnival technology in 1913 may still be operating today, continuing their work of guiding human technological development through entertainment, education, and industrial systems that appear completely normal but incorporate innovations that accelerate our species' advancement in ways we're only beginning to understand. What do you think? Have you ever noticed anything unusual about certain carnival rides or county fair equipment? Have you ever encountered mechanical systems that seemed more sophisticated than their apparent age or origin would suggest? Share your observations, share this story, and remember, the most important technological developments often hide behind the most innocent appearances. The carousel horses that delighted children at a 1913 Iowa County Fair were part of something far more significant than anyone realized at the time. Subscribe for more hidden histories, more shocking discoveries, and more revelations about the true forces that shaped American technological development. Because the story of human advancement is far more complex and mysterious than the official records suggest, and understanding it might be the key to recognizing the continued guidance that shapes our technological future.